I just had a feeling. I knew what was about to come, but nothing actually really prepared me for what was coming. I thought I had to hide it. And at the same time, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that there was something different about me. And I knew that there was an attraction from a little boy that I just found in men that was different for women. And so I did try to hide it. But also in high school and then throughout my childhood too, I had my girlfriends. My high school sweetheart was a girl who was my best friend now that I love to death. I was in love with in high school. Some people I would refer to that as a cover up, but for me that wasn't what that was. That was something real for me. But she helped me figure out who I was. I've had a really good upbringing, very somewhat conservative and religious upbringing. Someone who was in church every Sunday, Wednesdays for Bible study, Thursdays for choir practice.
Then in high school, we became like really cool because we was in youth council at our church together, so we were always working together and stuff like that. And then we became like best friends when we both, well, he didn't live in Houston, but he was out here like a lot.
Needs to be more education within the church as well. Our church is open to having these conversations because we know of the behaviors, we know what's going on, but we must be able to bring it to the forefront.
The next day, Sunday after church, we went to Cheddar's, and as we were getting ready to leave, I said, "Mom, I got something to tell you." And she looked at me, she looked at my pops, and she said, "Maybe we should just go home." I said, "If I don't tell you now, I probably never will just get it out." So I just said it, "Mom, gay." And you could have thought I shot in the heart or something, or I stabbed her. I have been all over the world to share my experience and the things that I've been through in hopes of not only helping others, but ending stigma and creating change within not only our communities, but within our government too. After that day, I got a call from someone that watched online. Oh no, that Facebook message, and they said, "Can you please call me? I have something for you." And they notified me about an opportunity with the campaign, a national campaign that Greater Than AIDS, which is an organization that puts out information about HIV, campaigns to end stigma around HIV. It was called Speak Out. They were like, "You should apply for it. You might be a great fit for it. What you did was amazing."
I love Deondre to death. We actually partnered up with his event, A Seat at the Table, and that was our first time doing, a partnership together. And we were able to provide the testing there and have a great conversation and open forum for, Black MSM men. We go around to the community, churches, schools, doing HIV, STD 101, educating the community about the seriousness of using prevention, of course, methods, condoms, different ways that they can obtain still healthy sex lives, but changing the behavior part about it.
What I admire about him the most is his dedication. He sees something, he wants to do it, he does it until it's executed.
Me and my friends, my best friends, we were all at it was a Thursday night, we were out at a bar and they were doing free testing, and I told my friends that they should all get tested.
I didn't get tested, he did. I don't know why I didn't, but I was flirting with the bartender probably.
They didn't want to, and so I figured I would lead by example and get tested myself. Knowing well enough that, like I said, I had only been with one person, and he knew his status. He was negative, I was negative.
So he just stopped drinking that night. Like he started drinking water, and I was like, what? Like we just snuck wristbands to, drink alcohol and you drinking water? So I was like, oh, something's not right.
I got tested in the club, and the guy told me 20 minutes later that it came back positive. But he said that it was a preliminary test. So because it was just an oral swab and not blood, I assumed that, it couldn't be true. It's got to be just, the alcohol or whatever I was drinking, you know. So there was no way that could be true, but he instructed me to when I got back to school, I got the chance to have some blood work done, and I did. And got back to school to go to the doctor up there. The lady said, you need to come in and see the doctor.
The reporting from about 2015, 2016 have been about 40,000 different new HIV diagnosis cases. Like I said, the rates are going down, but of course, anywhere that you look at on the chart there, minorities are the most affected, and this affects our community directly.
And I think what was so nerve-wracking for me the whole time was that I wasn't sure if I would even have a family after this.
This is not a death sentence. This is a gift. Look at it, believe it or not, this is a gift or whatever.
And so in that moment, like my life literally I just saw everything flash before my eyes. He walked out and I just sat there looking at the wall. And I felt like all the life just left my body.
I've been there, like putting him in my car, making him go park his car, and like driving around downtown to like just let him talk, because he didn't you want to talk about it? He's like, no, I'm good. Like at the time he didn't have anyone to talk to. It's like, that's what we're here for you to talk to.
Pastors and clergy, they don't understand I don't think that they understand how influential they are in helping, grassroots, and helping, green people within the public health field, helping prevention that affects our community, and the things that they can say, the platforms, them to get educated and aware of what's going on in the communities that sits right in their back door, in their congregation.
Hear and see so many stories of people who are shunned, one, for being gay, and then to have to go home to a very conservative family, religious family, to say, I'm also HIV positive. That was scary, but I did it.
Sometimes people are looking for an outlet to have these conversations. People are looking at looking for somebody that's influential to say, okay, it's not only me, okay, this is not only something that I want to learn, but something that we need to collectively learn
and get informed. Because like the biggest problem is being ignorant. Ignorant is not a bad word; it's used badly, but it's just the lack of not knowing, and them not knowing is what causes stigma and bad dialogue and language used against each other.
And I've questioned my faith before, but going through, because of the things that I heard growing up in church, it just felt bad to be in that setting where you felt as though you were always under attack, you were always being demonized and dehumanized about your sexuality.
We definitely need to push forward. We need to get our clergy to talk more about HIV and AIDS, to talk more about the things that are centered around, our MSM men that are in the church, different lifestyles that might be happening, within the church. Those type of things need to come to the forefront. We can't just continue to think that it's just one way.
Which, if I'm being honest, religion is something that aids and helps contribute to mental illness. I believe that because we tell children and people growing up who grow up in these institutions that this is wrong, you're going to hell, you're doomed for this, because of who you may love. And to me, that's kind of a contradiction, because we preach that God is love, but at the same time, you're going to tell me that I'm not worthy because of who I love.
They like to pick and choose what sins or what's bad and what's good or what's worse when everything is even playing field.
My personal relationship with God has never been dependent upon what I hear, what other people say. It's always been about my own experience. And to people in the church who may be of the LGBT community, my advice to them is to never let anybody dictate or have an impact and influence on your relationship with who God is to you. Because when you find God, I truly believe you lose religion. I knew there was a voice that kept saying, you know, you are a leader. You have this opportunity to take what has happened to you and turn it around, not only in your favor, but in the favor of others to help other people. And I truly believe that was a voice of God that kept saying, you know, if you do this, if you go in front of these people, I'm going to bless you in ways you can't even imagine. But when I'm down and out, or there's something that I think that I can't do, my mom always tells me, you better go get in that mirror, take that shirt off, and read that scripture on your chest over and over until you're ready. My mother's response was exactly what I needed. Because in that moment, for me, was going to be life or death. And she gave me life.